Have you ever wondered what would happen if time itself became the villain? Not a time traveler, not someone manipulating time, but the very concept of time turning against our heroes. Well, that's exactly what happens in one of the most mind-bending Justice League stories ever told. A story that begins with the unthinkable, the death of the Flash. It all kicks off during a brutal battle against a new, incredibly powerful villain. The Justice League is giving it their all, but they're being pushed to their limits. In a desperate final act of heroism, the Flash, Barry Allen, does what he does best. He runs. He runs faster than he's ever run before, pushing past the speed of light, past the barriers of reality itself, to save everyone. He succeeds, but the cost is immense. The Flash vanishes, seemingly disintegrated by his own speed. He dies saving the world. The universe mourns. The Justice League is shattered. Not only have they lost a founding member, they've lost a friend, a beacon of hope. But grief is a luxury they can't afford because something is wrong, terribly wrong. Strange temporal anomalies start popping up all over the globe. People are aging in reverse. Historical events are replaying themselves in the streets, and moments are looping, trapping people in seconds-long prisons. It's chaos, but it's not random. It's targeted. Batman, ever the detective, is the first to notice the pattern. These time distortions are centered around the Justice League and their close associates. It's almost as if something is hunting them, using their own personal histories as weapons. Superman finds himself reliving the last day of Krypton, helpless to stop it. Wonder Woman is thrown back to her first moments in man's world, feeling the isolation and confusion all over again. Aquaman is dragged into a future where the oceans have boiled away, leaving his kingdom a dried-up husk. It becomes clear that the Flash's death didn't just leave a hole in the team. It broke something fundamental in the fabric of reality. By pushing his powers to their absolute limit, he essentially punched a hole in the Speed Force, the cosmic energy that governs motion and time. Now, that energy is leaking out, uncontrolled, and time itself has become unstable, predatory. It's like an immune system that has identified the Justice League, beings who constantly bend the rules of physics, as a virus that needs to be purged. The entity behind this is later revealed to be a sort of temporal parasite, a being that feasts on paradoxes and temporal energy. With the Speed Force barrier weakened, it has been let loose, and it systematically trying to erase the Justice League from the timeline by trapping them in their greatest traumas and failures. Imagine your worst memory, your biggest regret, becoming a physical place you can't escape. That's what our heroes are facing. Green Lantern Hal Jordan tries to use his ring to contain the anomalies, but how do you build a construct to fight a concept? His willpower is powerful, but time is absolute. The League realizes they can't fight this enemy with punches or heat vision. They need a different kind of solution. They need someone who understands the very thing that's trying to destroy them. Their quest leads them to the most unlikely of allies and the most dangerous of places. They have to travel through the bleed, the space between universes, seeking answers from beings who exist outside of normal time. They consult with cosmic entities, forgotten magicians, and even have to consider a deal with one of their most dangerous temporal enemies, Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne. He's a monster, but he understands the Speed Force better than almost anyone. It's a classic enemy of my enemy situation, filled with tension and mistrust. Meanwhile, the attacks are getting worse. The time wraiths, manifestations of the corrupted temporal energy, are becoming more physical. They look like ghostly, distorted versions of the Flash, a constant, horrifying reminder of how this all started. They aren't just trapping the heroes in memories anymore. They're actively trying to age them into dust or de-age them into non-existence. The stakes are no longer just about saving the world. It's about their own survival, their very right to exist. The team figures out that the only way to fix time is to plug the hole in the Speed Force. But that requires a speedster, someone who can generate the specific energy signature of the Flash. With Barry gone, their only hope is Wally West. At this point in his journey, Wally is still coming into his own, living in the shadow of his mentor. Now he's being asked to not just fill Barry's boots, but to run the same race that killed him. The pressure is unimaginable. The climax is a sprint against oblivion. Wally West, with the entire Justice League protecting him from the temporal predators, must run into the heart of the Speed Force. It's a journey that's both physical and metaphysical. Inside the Speed Force, he doesn't just see moments from his own past and future. He sees all of time, a swirling, chaotic storm of what was, what is, and what could be. It's a place that would drive any normal mind insane. And there, at the center of the storm, he finds him. Barry Allen. He's not dead. He's become one with the Speed Force, transformed into pure energy, a living bolt of lightning. He's been trapped, acting as a makeshift patch for the hole he created. But his energy is fading, and the temporal parasite is consuming him. What follows is an emotional and epic reunion. Barry, barely coherent, explains that he can't leave. His presence is the only thing holding time together. But Wally refuses to accept that. He knows that the Speed Force needs a lightning rod, a human anchor in the real world to stabilize it. That was Barry's role. Now it has to be his. In a truly heroic sacrifice, Wally tells Barry that he will take his place. He's ready. He's no longer just Kid Flash. He is the Flash. He grabs Barry, and using their combined speed, they begin to run out of the Speed Force. But it's a one-way trip for one of them. The temporal entity attacks, and in the final moment, Barry pushes Wally out, sending him back to the real world while he himself is pulled back into the Speed Force storm, seemingly lost forever. But this time, sealing the breach properly, Wally West returns, now faster and more powerful than ever, infused with a deeper connection to the Speed Force. Time snaps back into place. The anomalies vanish. The Justice League is saved. But the victory is bittersweet. They got one flashback only to lose another. This story is incredible because it elevates the threat beyond a simple supervillain. It turns a fundamental force of nature into the antagonist and explores the deep emotional cost of heroism. It shows that the greatest battles aren't always fought with fists, but with hope, sacrifice, and the courage to face your own past. The day the Flash died wasn't just an ending. It was a new beginning, cementing Wally West's legacy and proving that even when time itself is against you, the spirit of a hero can never truly be erased. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of DC's greatest tales, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. Let me know in the comments what storyline you'd like me to cover next. See you then.